Hi. Hi, fam. Sorry for being late. Electricity keeps coming and disappearing, and yeah, a lot. There's a lot going on this side. But I decided to still come on here. Hopefully, you'll stay on. If not, we'll try to make it quick. Can you guys see me and hear me, though? That's important. Do you hear me? Do you see me? Let me fix myself. Ooh. I'm not hearing from anyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Or am I alone here? I'm not seeing anything. Oh, okay. Yes, I can. Okay. Thank you, because I couldn't see anything. I was just like, okay, I hope I'm not alone. Good. This thingy makes me look bold because I held my hair back. I feel like I'm bold. Anyways, doesn't matter. Thank you so much for letting me know. For a second there, I thought I was alone. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Kay. Hi, Keisha. Hi, Kagoma. Dang. The mirror likes me. Black Fist. Kay. Majay. Oh my god, are you alright? Hey, brother. I was looking for you last time when I was talking about Sudan, and I was actually thinking about you even today. I was like, hope everything is okay because I know you're from Sudan. If I'm not wrong, if I am, correct me. But I was remembering that you, at least, I think you have a family there. So, how is everyone? How are you guys doing? Please let me know how everything is unfolding. Um, Hi, Carlos. I see my usual community. Thank you guys for coming through. I appreciate it. Hi, Black American royalty. Um, Hi, Jacob. Thank you so much. Happy to see you guys here in the chats. Not, of course, face to face, but thank you so much, Keisha. Thank you. I need to hear that today. Hi, Susan. Hey, Boniface. Hi, what's up? What's up yourself? All is well. Can't complain. A lot going on though. A lot going on. I see the internet like dropping. Oh my god, today is an interesting day. Hi, Trodia. Hey, Kevin. Hi, Abdullahi. Oh, Abdullahi, are you Ethiopian? That's why you're saying my country, girl, or is it because I mentioned Sudan? We are waiting for the topic today. Yeah, relax. I'm saying hello to everyone. Let me welcome my people, okay? I'm just kidding. I'll just start now. If you watched my previous video, you know what we're talking about today. By previous video, I mean like proper video, like the long form videos, not my live stream. Who watched that? Okay, I want to know who watched my previous video that I posted. Yes, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Let me know. Please write yes. If you have watched it, if you haven't, say no. Write no. Um, Kagoma said, looking stunning. I can see your hair. Leave the boldness to me. Okay, Kagoma, I've left it. Left it to you. Um, Hi, Abdullahi. Blackfish says, what's going on in Africa? A lot. A lot. A lot. We'll try to cover a few of them quickly today, but hopefully the power cooperates. I'm from Ethiopia. Okay, I get it now, Abdullahi. Salam. Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Iko Sayawe. I wanted to say it the right way. Hopefully I did. Greetings from the Netherlands. Wengel, how are you doing over there? I'm doing well. How are you, dear? Thank you, Abdullahi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, So now, since Kay has been asking, we start. Oh wait, I have seen Majay here. Where is he? Literally just saw him. Yeah, Zaudu said from LA. Yurisa member, welcome. Thank you for being part of our community here. No, what was the question? Oh, I remember. Thank you. I think you were answering the question I asked about did you watch my video last time? So uh please catch up on it. But basically I'm going to elaborate today. So yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I found my J. Let me see. Thanks for asking my sister. Yes, I had to flee the country with my family and I went to Adwan, Egypt. Adwan or Aswan? For a few days. I left everything behind. I'm in Geneva, but I'm going back to Sudan as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that, Majay. Honestly, it's we feel I'm so sorry that your country is going through this. I know it's not fun. I know it's not going to be easy, even if you've left. I'm pretty sure you have distant relatives or people you know that you had to live in Sudan. So I understand. Okay, I don't want to say I understand, but I can imagine. And I'm so sorry, Majay. When you're ready, like if you want to talk, maybe even next week, if you want, we can schedule like you can come in one of my live streams and you can just update us, let us know how like how it has been and stuff. And I'm really happy to hear that your family made it out safe, and I pray for Sudan and the Sudanese people peace. um Thank you, Sisai, thank you, I appreciate it. Kisha said, well done, Kisha. Thank you. You get a gold medal. I appreciate you, girl. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, let me start because I'm pretty sure Kay is probably thinking, what are we gonna talk about? Why are we still here? Saying hi. Greetings from Poland. Hi, Sinai. Sign. Um Here in the States. Oh, congratulations. I'm hoping that's who you are rooting for because you seem happy. I don't know why I sense happy because you never said that you're happy. I don't know why. Salam ta Boniface. Salam to you too, Boniface. Kay, okay, Kay said I will be visiting Ethiopia and Uganda earlier next year. Nice, because December I'll be going to West Africa. Good for you, Kay. Enjoy it for all of us, and we cannot wait to hear about all the things that you were able to do. So now let me start, okay? Let me start. Jay said thank you, sis. Okay, let's begin. So I saw a few people. Okay, only one person said no, but even though some of you might have already watched that video, since I want us to talk about this topic, I'm gonna need to show you the video. Okay, so as always, please let me know when I'm projecting my screen if you can hear it and see it clearly. Okay, so let's see. Interesting. Watch this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
I am happy that we're having this debate
Let me know if you can hear and see, please.
and talking about the continent of Africa. And if we do that, we've got to listen to the. I can just recall, and sometimes many of my colleagues, especially on the other side of the aisle, argue that
Wait,
we don't get the.
I'm so sorry. I just remembered. I didn't give context. I apologize. So, the context, okay, the video that we're watching right now is this person that you're looking at right now is a U.S. representative, and he is also his name is Gregory, and he's talking about he's presenting to members of Congress like how important it is to not neglect Africa. Just watch it, and then we'll talk about it. Sorry, let me just begin here.
Debate.
Find it interesting. Watch this clip. We'll come back and discuss.
I am happy that we're having this debate and talking about the continent of Africa. And if we do that, we've got to listen to the. I can just recall, and sometimes many of my colleagues, especially on the other side of the aisle, argue that we don't get the votes we need at times in the UN from African countries. I recall when we were trying to get votes in regards to Russia's illegal invasion into Ukraine. And I had to call African ambassadors. And they said, now you're calling me? We haven't heard from the United States for a while. Now you want something from me? We've been asking for assistance in regards to security. And then I watched to see what was taking place when we look at our diplomacy. It was over 2 decades it took before in the 117th Congress we passed a state authorization bill and had to do that through the NDAA as opposed to saying we're going to stand strongly on diplomacy. Guess what China did during that period of time? They doubled their diplomacy budget. Guess what else is happening? For the first time, China has more consulates than the United States of America. General Kelly said either we do and get engaged in more diplomacy, or you're going to have to spend more money on bullets. We have an opportunity to engage and listen to.
Did you catch that? I just for me, hear this part out. Like, just
Or you're going to have to spend more money on bullets.
let me repeat that.
Consulates doubled their diplomacy budget. Guess what else is happening? For the first time, China has more consulates than the United States of America. General Kelly said either we do and get engaged in more diplomacy, or you're going to have to spend more money on bullets. We have an opportunity to engage and listen to allies and work with our allies. Many allies who have more and should have more responsibility on the continent because they colonized it, working with us collectively to try to make sure that the Chinas and the Russias of the world are not invested and we are invested and we are not. It's our challenge. And I hope that when we get past this debate, you'll be able to have another one. And I look forward to doing it particularly in our committee so that we can figure out collectively together, as Ms. Ilhan said, how we can work together and listen to make sure that we have an overall strategy. And I say this in regards to both parties. I say this to the administration, who should be doing more on the continent of Africa. So yes, this is not a partisan debate. This is an American debate. This is an opportunity to have attention to a continent fastest growing and the youngest on this planet that we have ignored for far too long. We have to wake up and do more for the continent of Africa and figure it out. Diplomacy. Figure out how we can help protect them from being victimized by terrorism. Figure out how we can strengthen institutions. We've got a lot of work to do. Figure out how do we reauthorize AGOA. Figure out how we work with the African Union. Figure out how we work with the African organizations. That's our challenge. Because if not, we imperil ourselves. So I could agree, this is not just an investment in the continent, it's an investment for America and America's leadership.
That was
One more time. I want you to listen to that
That's our challenge.
at the end. Just watch.
Because if not, we imperil ourselves. So I could agree, this is not just an investment in the continent, it's an investment for America and America's leadership.
That was a US politician. He's actually a US representative, and he's a
That part. That part. That part. Okay. So many things to unpack here and to cover, right? I'm pretty sure you have lots and lots of things to say, okay? Feel free in the comment section. But let me tell you, first of all, we're talking about ideas here, okay? And we're not trying to say anything bad about our brother. we're just gonna tackle it idea by idea. I think that's better, right? So it sounds noble, right? When you hear it, like when he's talking about, like, I called up a friend of mine, an African ambassador, and when I was asking him, he's like, "Hey, like, where have you been until now? Like, you guys not have not been involved with us or wanted a relationship with us thus far. Now, all of a sudden, like, you're like, hey Africa, because they want a support when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war, or they want African leaders to pick US over China, right? And well done to that ambassador for sharing that information with him. But this is something that they have known. First of all, I find it really interesting, right? Our brother here, Gregory, is actually, you know, a Democrat, right? In the US, there's a Democrats, Republican. Here in Africa, we just hear about them. We for the us, we see them as the US, even though we've seen a difference. I'm not gonna lie. There was a difference between when Trump was running the country versus Biden when it comes to their foreign policy. There's a bit of a difference, but generally they all serve one thing. We all know that, right? The system. That's what they care about. Not the people, not even Americans, their own people, not the relationship they have with Africans or other European countries. It's self-serving, right? Even in this speech you heard at the end, he said, like, it's an investment for America and the leadership. He was clear, he was open about it. As you know, so for me, even though there's a difference between, at least when you are in the US, a Democrat, Republican, generally they serve the same thing. But I thought it was really interesting that this person talked about, Africa and the relationship and and the diplomacy. And then just 1 week ago, we're talking about another leader who is like a senator, a Republican, talking about how he wants like better foreign policy with Africa, and all of them, by the way, every US official, when they're talking about Africa and they're trying to plead with us, they're always mentioning China or Russia. That just tells you what you need to know right there. It's not in good faith. It's not because they care. It's not because they want a genuine relationship with us. It's always a competition with other nations. It's always to exploit us. It's always to tell us what to do and what not to do, right? So it's just it's just something that, once and you can tell when they're trying to fool you, or when they're trying to get on your good side. But unfortunately, not a lot of Africans understand this. And it's not trying to put down people. It's just because they're busy with their lives. They're farming. They're like going to school. They're working. They have no time to sit down and listen to this uh politics and the agenda the Western world has, or China and Russia. How much debt does this country have? How, like, they don't have time because they're trying to survive. And that's what they care about right now. They need to make ends meet, and that's what their priority is. So I get that, but that's why we talk about these things. That's why our people need to understand, and that's why we need to break away from this. The Western world will save us. They have been our saviors thus far, which is a blatant lie. It's actually disrespectful to even, insinuate that that's the case, right? So that's one thing for me, like the fact that now each side, right? Every official wants to talk about Africa all of a sudden. A relationship with us is like the most important thing right now. And what? Where were you a few years back? Like, what do you mean? Just because now you are actually seeing the impact it has, and people actually being turned off by your moves and agenda and politics, and they want to make decisions for themselves. Now all of a sudden you care, all of a sudden you think we deserve better. That's BS, right? If you really cared about us. And the other thing, like, as I mentioned, that I notice is they have to mention China, Russia. They have to mention, like, they can't stand on their own merit. They can't just tell us, I've done this, I'll do this, let's have a relationship. It's going to be a win-win relationship. We're going to have this contract that's going to. They don't, because they know like what they have behind that proposal, right? So, and the third thing is, it's the fact that they are trying to tell us that they are the best um, option for us right now, which is, as I said, BS, and it's not true and it's not accurate. And thankfully, a lot of people are waking up to that fact. At the end of the day, each African country needs to make decisions based on what is beneficial to them. As we always say, we're not going to live in this world alone. You know, I know we are the second largest continent in the world, or we are the second largest population in the world. Still, we have to live amongst these people, and if we're making deals, and if we're um gonna coexist, we need to make sure that we benefit. We need to make sure that it's a win-win contract. That's not what's happened up until recently. Even now it continues. It's like each nation, when they're making a deal with us, or company, multinational company, they want to suck and exploit the land. They don't want to give back, and that needs to stop. Everything needs to be give and take, right? um wow, somebody wrote something that caught my eyes. Zaudu said, Greg Meeks, which the guy we just talked about, the US House Committee on Foreign Affairs has tried to sanction Ethiopia while he was a chair 2 years ago. We fought hard with him, arrogant guy. Now listen to this. Like, now listen to this. You remember the 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 ish that we had to go through as Ethiopia, and we're still going through it, by the way. We are still going through a lot. Just, yeah, pray for my country when you're praying for Sudan. But honestly, like, this is the same person. Apparently, I didn't even know this, by the way, Zodu. You're telling me this. And he was fighting to put on sanction on Ethiopia when if you remember, we were fighting with a rebel group when US was saying the rebel group, they were siding with the rebel group. Just imagine that. They were siding with a rebel group. And they were yeah, there was a lot that went on, and I don't even feel like revisiting that. But he apparently was trying to put on sanctions on Ethiopia, even though he knows that it's going to hurt the people, and the people don't deserve it. The same way he mentioned AGOA, if you heard him. AGOA, AGOA, I did a story on it a year ago, and if you watched it, let me know. Like, US literally said AGOA is the agreement that America has with African countries to give us like a free trade. Like, it's gonna help us penetrate their market easily. Like, it's gonna have a lot of benefits, and it has employed so many people, right? In Ethiopia, when they said, okay, Ethiopia, we're kicking you out, thousands of people lost their jobs. And US was like, so what? Like, we need to teach you a lesson. That's how they reacted to people losing their livelihood. But that's precisely why they give you this benefits, loans, and aids, and sign free trade agreements. It's because when the time comes and they need a favor from you and you say no, they can snatch it away from you and bring chaos and dismantle your country and bring destability to your country. That's why they're so kind and nice to us. Which I'm making a joke. They're not actually that nice to us, but they pretend. And we're talking about the government, by the way, not the American people in general. When I'm talking about US, it's the government and the people that lead it, because most of the US citizens have no idea what the government is doing with their taxpayers' money. Let's be honest. So yeah, a lot to unpack here. And yeah, thank you, Majay. Majay said we need to pray for these countries. Let me see what you guys have written. Unfortunately, talking about American politicians, like I saw them for what they are like in the past 3 years or so. Like, because if you don't pay attention, you won't know. Like, right? Like, if you don't know where to look at or what to look for, you're just gonna go with what the mainstream media tells you. And I've always been vocal about this. I've been a victim of that. Like, I believed in what they told me. If they say this is a bad guy, I'm like, okay, bad guy. If they say this one is a good guy, I'm like, okay. And we've been fed lies for all these years, and now I think it's time to take back power. Knowledge is power, and that's why we need to take it away and like use it for ourselves and not let be, you know, not allow others to manipulate us and make us believe in lies. That's not right. So, I remember feeling really sad watching these politicians like talk about Ethiopia or like Sudan or Somalia or Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, Niger, all these countries that we've talked about. Even Ghana recently, they've been trying Ghana with the laws and the things that they want to change, right? But it's interesting that now we get to see things for what they are. And that's what matters. It's better late than never, right? That's what they say. And it's fine. I feel like if this revolution happened a few years back, maybe would by now it could have like caught up a little bit more heat and fire, but it's fine. We are going to hold it down and do what we can to make it better for the next generation. There's no way in hell our kids, my kids, are gonna grow up in this environment where they're lied to and they support their own unaliver, deleter, colonizer, and act like that's their savior. Hell no, that's not gonna happen. Um, yeah, so I thought, yeah, that's why I really wanted to talk about this story. I love this. Africa's greatest hope is Africa. True, and Africans and the diaspora. Don't forget about that. But yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. If and whenever like people tell me this, by the way, they're like, why do we even need to deal with them and stuff like that? We have to be realistic, fam. Like, we are gonna live in this world with them, right? We might as well come up with boundaries and not unite. First of all, of course, that comes first, but in the meantime we need to do A, B, C, and D. We can't be stuck in one point, because when we're begging people to unite, we need to be doing other stuff as well. Like, we need to be, we need to have a voice. The UN Security Council, I know it's failing and I know it's not doing what it's supposed to do, but at the same time, it exists right now. It has power right now, and the countries that have permanent seat are making, the moves, the change, and not one African country has a permanent seat. And I was talking about this on TikTok, and I was like, because the German leader came to Kenya and told William Ruto, I'm gonna help you have a voice. I will support African countries to have a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. And I was like, why is this even a conversation? We know that we deserve that. We know that it should have happened a long time ago because of our population, how large it is, and how big our continent is. We should have been represented, but that didn't happen. But I still believe we still need a permanent seat, even though UN is a faulty organization. But people in the comment section were telling me, why are we even talking about this? Let's talk about uniting Africa, and let's talk about other things, because UN is not like a good organization. I'm like, I get that. I completely get that. It's corrupt organization. forward. I feel like there's like something went black. Let me know down below if you can hear me and see me. I just saw that I was cut and I came back. So I was, was on what I was saying as you're letting me know. Let me continue. As I was saying, even though we still have a lot of work to do as Africa and Africa coming together and still fixing the African Union and all that stuff. Yes, we're going to do that. But at the same time, we need to have permanent seats, at least one. Give us one country, at least two countries. We need to still be sitting on that table. We can't continue to just live in this world when somebody else is making the decision for us, when we know for a fact they don't have the best interest at heart for us. So I believe in still being in those spaces, even though I know they're not good spaces, right? And don't forget, Ghana, I believe it's last year or beginning of this year, when they were given a temporary seat at the UN Security Council. What did they do when they were given the agenda? The agenda they brought forth, which I was so happy about, I don't think a lot came out of it, but what they brought up was the troops, the foreign troops, the UN troops that are in Africa, the things that they have been doing and not being investigated. Why is that? Like we need to know how come, they're creating a lot of chaos and they're not being questioned, or they need to be investigated. Look at that. Do you think US would have brought that to be investigated? US would have brought like Sudan or an Ethiopia or like Mali to be sanctioned or like to be investigated, so that they can change the right, they can bring change in the right format, or create a coup or whatever that they love doing. So let's not be fooled. Like we still deserve, even if that is not a perfect organization, I believe we still deserve a seat at the table. That's my opinion. But we can agree to disagree, and that's perfectly okay. Okay, I don't expect us to agree on everything the same way we don't agree on religion. So it's fine. Yeah, see, St. James is saying a permanent seat. This is the kind of comments I was reading. A permanent seat at the UN is important, but let's strengthen our AU to better address our own issues on the continent without interference. I completely agree, St. James. But my point is, we can still do both things at the same time, right? And as much as I believe strengthening AU is a priority and is extremely important, I believe we also need to make enough noise to have a seat at the UN Security Council. As I said, that's just my opinion. But I do agree with you that we need to work on uniting Africa, and especially the African Union organization needs to be fixed from the ground up. That's like how I see it. Let's see. Kisha said we definitely need permanent seats on the insecurity. I agree with that. Patricia. Yeah, Majay said something. Sister Zalalam, did you hear that? I heard that some UK geneticist, how do you say that? Geneticist created a child out of 3 separate DNA. What? The creature was born. What? Yesterday, Lord have mercy, where are we heading? What? Did everybody else hear about this? I'll have to Google what. And I like how you called it a creature, Majay. But it can't be a child though, right, Majay? For it to be a child, it has to be a human person, little human, right? Like, because you said a creature, which I agree with. If it's like what we said, separate of 3. What? I need to do this research, Majay. I did not hear any was yesterday. Whoa, that is insane. UK genetics. Okay, if it's genetic, and then the person that's studying genetics, it's called geneticist. Guessing. 3DNA. Okay, this is a read for later. Thank you. We'll see. Yeah, I just found this is from aljazeera.com. It says the United Kingdom's fertility regulator on Wednesday confirmed the births of the UK's First babies created using an experimental technique combining DNA from three people. Oh my goodness gracious. Lord have mercy. You are right. Where are we headed? I like that point. Um, yeah. For those of you who didn't know, thank you, Majay, for breaking that news for us. Um, let me see. Many people in Africa don't accept Black people in the diaspora, and that is because of the lack of knowledge. Yes, it's not all also like I don't think it's about okay. I don't think it's about not accepting as well. It's about not knowing. Like, do you know there are so many people that don't even know about transatlantic slave trade? Africans. Like, it's because, as I said earlier, they're busy farming, they're busy trying to make a living. Like, they're not tapped into social media, they don't have social media, they don't even probably have TV, and most people in that area, rural areas, they usually have radios, but that's it. So you see, there's lack of information. But if they see, for example, King Kush, if you're a Black American and if you go to that farmer, let me tell you, he's gonna assume that you are from there. Like, he's just gonna assume that um you're his people, because as Cicely last week pointed out, for majority of people in Africa, because we lived with Black communities and we haven't seen a lot of white people or whatever Asian. For us, we don't identify, or we don't see it as Black, white, Asian. It's like, because all of us are Black, right? So what they use to identify is their tribes. That's why there's so many tribalism in Africa, which sucks and makes me so sad. People care about their tribes more than anything, which is another issue that we need to tackle one step at a time, educate our people, because we're fighting a bigger thing right here. Like, tribe should be the least of our problems. Like, tribal difference, and you're still in the same country, and that's your brother, and that's your sister, and that's your neighbor, and you're gonna tell me that because of the tribe you don't have love for that person? That is ridiculous, fam. I don't think there's many things I hate as much as tribalism. Of course, I hate so many things, but tribalism, racism, those are in the same, I would say, category for me. Um, Kisha said representatives on the AU and in the UN are both extremely necessary to our survival. And I hope, like, AU, by the way, if it's done perfectly, it will be the most powerful organization in the world, because it has the second largest continent. Like, all of us coming together, just imagine walking in unison, just imagine having free trades amongst one another, right? Because we have so many resources, different talent, different people. We just need to exchange amongst one another, and like, trade and travel and come together. We can rule the world, like, literally. I believe that. Um, no, I don't think he's talking about Designer Baby, because Designer Baby, I thought, was like, you still take from mom and dad the egg, and then the sperm, and then I don't know, they put them together, and then they create embryo, and then that embryo is now going to be a baby. They're going to choose once the embryo is made. I think they can know, like, this is a boy, this is a girl, so they get to choose. They're like, I want the boy, I want the girl. Like, I think that's what Designer Baby is, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, he's saying, like, they brought three different DNAs, put them together, and created a baby. Like, uh, but even the article, that's what it said. It's not just Majay that said that. um yeah, we need to do more research on this, right? um Zuri said that's crazy, it's on YouTube. Okay, FA is telling us on YouTube, so after this, everybody feel free to go and watch it. Kisha, haven't heard about it. Me too, girl. Of the project that's gonna get jumped, the blackfish, that's funny. Thank you, Majay. We'll definitely check it out. As a prophet, Laroni, Laron Israel, are you saying that you're a prophet? What? Platinum said scientists use DNA from 3 sources instead of 2 in order to create an infant. That is insane, Platinum. We need to do more. Like I need to because it's just out of I need to know more because scientist. Okay. Now, did you even what? Maybe that's something we can talk about next week. Um, I watched Elon Musk interview. If any of you watched it, let me know. And he's talking about how he believes AI is dangerous and like the Chat GPT, the creator, and him. He actually said this is what he said. Unfortunately, I was part of that project, which means he rejects like he no not reject. He feels bad about it now. He's not happy with what he helped create, and he was saying how he believes the artificial intelligence eventually he believes is gonna not listen to what we tell it. For now we're the one running it, right? We're the one asking it, it's coded and all that stuff, but in the future it can say, when you're telling it do this, it can say no. Do you remember iRobot? Something like that. Maybe that's something it interests me, so maybe we can talk about that next week. I think it's an interesting topic to cover. uh, Really from 3 people, and they called it a breakthrough. It's not FA. You don't think it's a breakthrough? Mo said European man has decided that he is God. How else can you explain sex reassignment? God did not make any mistakes. Yeah, that may God like yeah, we in the near future is coming over here in Africa as well, so you better be prepared to stand your ground. Reparations won't solve anything. Big stream of money will only promote corruption. Africa needs infrastructure and education, correct. We need infrastructure and education. It's true that have been 50 or so babies that have been GMO'd. Are they really calling it GMO'd? Or you just came up with that so far using 3 sets of DNA? Yeah. So, fam, I didn't even think I would stay this long today, honestly. Yeah, this we shouldn't have to pay last. Me, I'm a believer of like giving a place to the diaspora community that are in and wanting to raise their live. To get it all. Um, did I drop? I think my network is acting up. I think my network is acting up. Can you hear me and see me? Oh no. Fam, can you hear me and see me? Fam? Yeah, I think I'm buffering. Let me leave before it just disappears completely. Sorry guys, sorry. I told you there's an issue today, but I'm glad it didn't disturb us too much during the live. But thank you guys so much for being here and having this conversation with me. I'll see you next week, and I think we're gonna cover the technology, the AI, because it's at the end of the day, it's still going to affect us as Africans as well. So it's not out of our realm. So, anyways, fam, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you guys, all of you, and I'll see you next week at the same time, okay? Have a blessed morning, day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Stay blessed. Bye. Okay. Because I thought I ended it and then it's not there. Hi, I'm still here. I'm trying to end the broadcast. Okay, end the broadcast.